Let's talk about the new lad straight away then, Darren. What's he going to bring to the club?
Well, I've just looked at what I've got obviously in the squad at the moment, player-wise and position-wise, and I just feel that he's slightly different to what we've got. He's quick, he can play in either wing, could play probably in a number 10 role as well, but he's an exciting player. You know, he's only a young boy obviously, but he's good pedigree, been at Southampton since he's 9, so a very good club at producing players, young players. So we're pleased to get him on board.
And this is his first taste, I suppose, really, of playing at a club and potentially getting league action. What have you seen of him so far? And I suppose it's at youth level, is it that you've mainly seen him?
Yeah, under 21 games, development games. He played against City earlier this week, and that made our mind up really on him. So he's slightly different to what we've got, which is what I was looking for. I look forward to working with the boy. You know, at this stage of the season, when you're challenging for playoffs, promotion, it's slightly more difficult to get the players you want in because there's got to be a certain type that's going to. And what I've looked for is something a little bit different to what we've got, and I think we've got that.
Is there a sense as well that it's a good moment just to lift the club by getting someone else in as well?
Possibly, but young Daniel Cairns has gone out on loan. I looked at my bench the other night, you know, and had 3 defenders on it, and really I could have done with one or two more attacking players, and I think that's what I'm looking at. You know, I've got to have it's obviously he's going to play a part, Lloyd. If he was to start games or if he comes on, he's got to have an impact, and I feel that we need a little bit more on that side of things.
I suppose that's part of the drawback, if you like, of having Nicky and Brett and Connor all starting a game, is that obviously you lose one of them as a potential option.
Yeah, I mean, I add Josh to that as well, who could play as a striker, but Josh obviously showed the other night that he's very good technically and can take the ball in tight areas. I thought he was excellent actually, Josh. So he really took responsibility and got a control of the game for us, so that was a bonus. So yeah, you're right. If you're going to play all 4 of them, then it is really 4 attackers in your team. But it's just how I play them in the sense of where I play them in the team. They can play in different positions, and Nicky and Josh in particular can play in 1 or 2 different positions.
And for Josh, he's been out injured for a little while, and he's clearly come here to work on his fitness. Is that a big part for him, that once he gets a few games under his belt, he should in theory just get better and better as he starts to find his stride?
Yeah, possibly. I like the boy. Well, I think he's got a really good attitude. I think he's made it clear he wants to play, and I like that. He's understood why he hasn't started all the games, but now we're seeing a far stronger and fitter Josh. And I felt the other night he was a big plus for us, I really do. And that's important. I think he's also got the experience of getting a promotion under his belt last season with Bournemouth at this level. So he's a player I've liked for a while, but it's not until you work with someone that you see different attributes, and I think he's got more than I felt he had.
Yeah, which is great news. Let's quickly do the injuries. Carl Vassell with his toe. How's he progressing?
He's still not fit. He's doing rehab now. It will probably be at the end of the month. He's probably going to be touch and go for the final. Apart from him, everyone seems fine.
Yeah, everyone else looking okay, and obviously Nat Knight-Percival had his issue with his eye. Yeah. He was back on the bench. Is he ready to start if you need him now this week?
Oh yeah, he's ready. You know, and he's missed a game with the eye injury when it just didn't heal as quickly as we thought it would. So he's ready. If he's required, he's ready. He'll be in the squad.
And always a big game when you play Milton Keynes, and I suppose in the context of Tuesday night now, an even bigger game.
Yeah, because of the points difference, I suppose. It's just another game for me. I'm not going to make a big deal of it. I think the games we've had against them have been really good ones, good footballing teams. And there's a bit of history there because, like I said, when we played them early in the season, we've sort of started being successful around about the same time. Obviously we've had the promotions, 3 of them, and they've had 1, but they've been there or thereabouts. So there's a healthy respect between the clubs. We're not obviously geographically too far away. It'll be a good game. and may the best team win on the day.
Yeah, it's another of those matches where you'll take a good away following, like at Leyton Orient, and it's always a little boost, isn't it, when you've got that many posh fans in the ground?
It is, and I think it's one to look forward to, you know. And I remember when we played them in the playoffs, the support we took was incredible. We're not going to have that many, but we'll take a fair few, and our supporters away from home have probably been a little bit luckier than ones that have come at home, because obviously, you know, we've had decent results. Swindon when we got to the final, beating Leyton Orient, beating Stevenage. So it's important that they stay with us, and they'll be frustrated after Tuesday night, and in many ways we owe them a result, especially against Milton Keynes, as much as anyone.
And it's a mark, isn't it, of how the pendulum swings, that maybe people are a bit down after Tuesday night's result, but equally if you can beat Milton Keynes this weekend, you've still got the game in hand, suddenly your position looks very strong again.
Yeah, exactly. And you're downbeat for a set as long as you can be, in the sense that, you know, I've got to pick everyone up and we've got to go again. We can't keep going on about Tuesday night. I said my piece, and the players are aware of that, and we prepare for the game on Saturday. And like you say, you know, 5 o'clock on Saturday, you're hoping you've got the win, you're 6 points ahead of them, and you've got a game in hand. So all of a sudden it's looking a lot healthier, and that's the aim, obviously, on Saturday, to do that. And
I know when you go Tuesday to today, actually you haven't really had much training time, or I suppose even really seen the players, but is the atmosphere, the reaction around the club this morning as you'd like?
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. At the end of the day, we've got to see a reaction, you know, and I'm sure we will.
And I don't know whether you've seen comments that Dara's been making on Twitter about crowds and the fact that they've been relatively small of late. Again, it's a difficult one, isn't it? Because we all know the economic situation, and it is expensive to come to the football. But I suppose by the same token, as we've already touched on with the away games, the bigger the crowds you can get here, the better the atmosphere, the more electric it is, the better it is for your side.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think the chairman's comments are a reflection of the frustration that we feel that, not being a criticism, it's just the fact that the crowds have been particularly low this season, and we haven't been out the top 6 the whole season. So you have to ask the question why. I don't know why, but perhaps just, I think the expectations are what they are. People perhaps see it as, if we're not getting automatically promoted, it's a disaster of a season. I've no idea. I really don't. But the point the chairman's making is a fact. It's not a speculation or anything. It is a fact. The crowds have been really low.
Yeah, and I mean, as a manager, obviously your job is to focus on the football anyway. But Peterborough, was it 200,000 people live here? It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it, that you can't get more people week in, week out, because you know, there've been some great games here this season.
Yeah, and it's, you know, I don't know why, and but we've already sold 15,000 tickets for Wembley. I think it's really difficult in the sense that in the 7 years I've been here and the chairman's been here, we've had a lot of success, and everyone's aware of that. We've had 3 promotions, we've managed to stay in the league back-to-backs in the Championship, where the disappointment of last season, we've gone down in the last day. And this season, you know, we have to be judged at the end of it, not 3/4 of the way, not after 40 games. We have to be judged after 46 games. And if we get to the playoffs and we win the playoffs and we go up again, then surely that has to be a success, no matter what way you look at it. And then add that, you hope you win the JPT as well, then quite possibly it could be one of the best seasons the club's ever had. I just get the feeling that, you know, people are not looking at it that way, and I think you're always better to look at the positives rather than anything else. That's achievable. That was the aim at the start of the season. It's still very possible. Yes, we've been very inconsistent, but as long as the target is still there, which it is with 11 games to go, then that's how you've got to look at it.
And of course, inconsistency gives you plenty of hope, plenty of reason for optimism, because you are putting in the performances. There have been some great wins, yeah, there have been some poor defeats as well, but the hope is really there.
Yeah, but inconsistencies can do different things to different people. You know, one minute you're up on a high, next minute you're down on a low. Then you get a couple of wins, you think, right, can we go on a run? And then you get, that's the way the season's been, unfortunately. And like it or not, that might be just one of those seasons. But the aim is there and the target's there, and I still very much think, and I'm very optimistic that we'll achieve our targets this season.